Hey everyone, so I'm going to show you two things I sold. These are two things I sold in 1720. So here we go, already packed them up, but here we go. So the first one I got is a 1950 pocket edition of The Prophet by K.L. Urban. Is a leather book cover, and it is like really good shape. Like the pages aren't ripped really. The pages are in like good shape. They're in like it's a really good shape book, especially for being like a 7-year-old book. And yes, I did show that edition is in. You can't see it. For some reason I just want to show it, but you can see 23rd printing, January 1950, and was published in 1927. The pocket edition was. In 1923, it's the original first printing of the big, not the pocket edition, but I sold that. You can see there's a little wear on the top there. Tried to get as best I could. Some like minor wear. Otherwise, but most pretty solid book. It's a really good shape. I got $14.99 plus shipping on top for this book. So really, I got it at actually flipping books. Flipping books. And I got it at that one. And I flipped it. It only took a couple weeks, which is pretty happy for. Like a lot of this is not like a super rare antique book. It's not like a vintage, like a super rare book, vintage book. But it's not. I mean, I've seen other different editions like from 1980, 1940s. So it's definitely out there, but I didn't see one on this edition. But I did kind of average based on the other editions. I think I went a little higher on it. I didn't go as high as like some of the like newer, a little bit newer versions. As low as the newer, I didn't go as high. Like kind of went, me too. I kind of went a little higher, a little bit, but I got it, and it sold for $14.99, and I charged $2.80 shipping. Like on these old, certain books, you might not be able to charge shipping. Like on these like vintage books, it's like vintage collectible books, like vintage cookbooks, like vintage cookbooks, like vintage stuff, like stuff that you just don't really find many copies of nowadays. You can charge more for shipping. Like you got J.R. Watkins cookbook, I charge for shipping. Yes, you can charge for shipping on some of the books. It's kind of hard to believe, but yes, you can. And I sold a Great American Brand Name Recipes cookbook. I listed on the 8th, and only took like 8 days to sell. It sold on the 16th. Like 9/30/10. I was pretty happy. It took oh, like 8 days, 9 days. So I was shocked. I thought I might have to take a little offer on this book, but I didn't. There's one that sold for $9, but he took a best offer. So I priced mine at $5. I was thinking I might have to take a best offer. Didn't have to take a best offer on this book. American Brand Name Recipes cookbook, 19 hardcover. It is probably the reason why it sold is because it's from the 80s. It's like late 80s. It's like last year of the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s type book. But so main late 80s looks like early 90s can apply to early 90s too type book. And you can see it has Philadelphia cream cheese, the Kraft Dole, which if you know, Dole makes a bunch of canned fruits and stuff like Philadelphia cream cheese, like Jello. It's not like if you've had Jello before in like the packages, the Campbell's obviously make Campbell's soup. Now with the NFL thing, they made the Campbell's chunky. Real Lemon and Dirt Tea, never heard of them, but never been. I don't think that's not around anymore, but I don't think it is. At least I don't think it is. Maybe it is under a different name. I don't know. Hershey's, obviously everyone knows Hershey's chocolates, Hershey's chocolate chips and stuff, and candies and stuff, and Crisco. These like vegetable oil. I don't think that's as popular as it used to be. Crisco brand. But you can, it's still like Philip Kraft, Dole, Jello, Campbell's, Crisco, Hershey's, even Kraft, Dole, Jello, Campbell's, and Hershey's. If you're like a big recipe maker, you at least know like 6 of the 9 brand names on here. Like not maybe not jerky or real lemon, you know them. And I think that's why it's sold for nostalgic recipes based on like popular brands that are still known today. I mean, like 6 of the 9 popular brands are still known today. Like, they're still, you can still find them in stores today. So I think you can make like old school or like 90s recipes, the recipes from like the late 80s, early 90s, like older recipes. Get some of those throwback recipes, still using modern everyday products. So it's a little mixable, vintage and modern, mixable. So and it sold for $5.99, but I had to do free shipping. But it only weighed 3 pounds. But it was part of the first lot of books I got, so I got nothing into it, and so sold for $5.99 free ship. So can't complain. I got it out of here, so can't complain. So thanks everybody. Please take care, everyone. Now I'm gonna upload this video and then do another one on EA because I got peace out on the side there. I need to update.